Today, Gina is going to talk about a morbid topic
Again.
You're listening to
Jom Sembang, Malaysia.
Okay lah, Gina quite morbid lah. So right, what came to my attention recently, we all know about how people die alone in Japan. Like they are too old, they live alone and die,
Okay.
That has been quite a news lah the
Okay.
last few years. But the last few months, Singapore has reported a lot of what we call lone death. Because Singapore have a very increasing aging population, right?
Yes.
So much so that a lot of the elderly actually live alone.
Yeah.
So whether they have family in Singapore or they've migrated out, they live alone. And there is more and more reported death that people just die alone at home and nobody know.
Nobody
And then
knows
by the
until a
time
few
they
weeks.
discover,
Yeah.
So that really piqued my attention because I'm starting to think, right? I mean, maybe it piqued my attention because I'm single and I'm thinking like when I die, I'm going to die alone like that,
Okay.
So I thought it's quite an interesting topic to actually chat about lah.
All right.
Okay, so like for example, I will just share some of the stories that I watched on CNA
Okay.
about Singapore lone death. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of them realize that they're alone, then they're dying, but they don't want to go to a senior elder
Care
house or
facility,
something
okay.
like that. The first concern, according to research, is they don't want their body to be discovered a few days later.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be the history where, my neighbor died and I realized it 2 weeks later, it smells like shit like that, So a lot of the elderlies are picking up certain things like they'll keep their door open. So that, if I die, people can smell me 2 days and not 2 weeks. Or
Okay.
they also make intention relationship with their neighbors. Maybe the neighbors are family people and all that. Say, hey, if you don't see me 1-2 days, just knock on my door or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, this is quite an interesting thing to explore because in Malaysia, you don't have HDB flats.
But we got low-cost housing lah.
Yeah lah, but if I die in my condo, nobody know lah. So those are some
Same here,
things that trigger some some reflection on my end.
Okay.
So I think maybe what I want to chat about today is if you are living alone and you're aging, what are some of the things that you can consider doing just in case you die?
Actually, no need to be aging also lah. Now people have been dying a lot younger.
Yeah. The whole heart attack, because for me right now, ever since after COVID, I'm a little bit more conscious about will I wake up tomorrow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's really at my doorstep kind of thing lah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I thought it was quite interesting topic to talk like you say lah. It's not just for the older people lah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people live alone nowadays also
Yes,
lah.
correct.
Because they cannot tahan with other people lah. After the COVID, right? Everybody started to say, I can move out and live alone.
Physical distancing literally forever.
Correct. So maybe we can share some thoughts if you have any.
Okay.
Of what you would do putting yourself that you're living alone scenario. Or if you can't think of yourself living alone, maybe let's imagine if your mom was alone. Yeah, what are some of the things, precaution steps that you have put along? Okay, so for example, one that I'm really struggling now is I know my mom checks my WhatsApp last seen sometimes.
Okay.
Because she will call me and say, let's say she called me at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Your last seen was 8 p.m. Are you alright? So I don't know whether to freak out or not because I just happen to have a long day sleeping or something like that. But I realized that is one good way to check. So I have been telling her that, okay, nowadays I don't check my WhatsApp until 11 or something like that. So don't panic. And I do check in as much as I possibly can lah.
Yeah.
Once a day. So I say, once a day. If you don't hear from me once a day, maybe still okay. Then she will go and see my social media. Gina haven't posted anything. Let me see if she's alright. But I think that's a very good way of doing it, even with friends lah. So you have very close friends. Suddenly you're like, Gina never good morning me 3 days in a row. Better go and check if she's alive. It's one of the things that I'm trying to put in place with some friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
If people were to check my social media, I would have been dead quite long already.
Because you don't even post stories like me, I still post random stories. So.
I have seasons lah. When I've got the mood, then suddenly I'll be posting a few in a day, right? But otherwise it might be a few days or a week past and nothing. In terms of WhatsApp, I think having close friends, at least one or two, is a really good way of at least somebody keeping track of you lah, right?
Some sort lah. Especially I find it's more doable with single friends.
Yeah.
Hello lah, you do have family friends, the fella is too busy taking care of the children.
Yeah, they don't even
to-
notice that.
Correct. Or retired friends. Like maybe they have time, but their family all no time, so they still have time for you, that kind of thing. So these are the two types of friends that I identify work well if I just want someone to check in on me once a while.
Yeah.
So that if I die at home, somebody know lah.
I think another way is, let's say you don't have one or two close friends that you forever chatting one lah, is to have one or two weekly check-ins, like regular check-ins.
Okay.
So for example, we have a small group that meets on Wednesdays, right? So if 1 week I don't say I'm turning up, then, or I don't turn up and I don't say I'm not turning up, then people will be like, what happened?
But that one depends on personality. I mean,
True
some
lah.
people they don't turn up, they don't say anything when you know.
No, but it depends, right?
Then you don't need to check on them.
No, if you're regular and they expect you to turn up, then they will check on you. But if you're not regular, then they're like, oh, but anyway, she said she's taking a break or she's not. Then they won't lah, because they also don't want to be pushy lah in that sense. But the problem with that is it's weekly, right? So by the time it's already 1 week, and then another week, it's like if anything happened to me, don't say die lah. Happened to me, you can't even like help or whatever. So that's why I'm saying maybe 2 things or 2 or 3 things that you kind of do weekly, regularly. It could be as simple as marketing or
because that the cashier will realize she did
not the cashier
shopping.
lah. I don't know lah. If you go to a regular thingy, somebody will be like, 2 weeks never come back.
Yeah, maybe like a cafe or something that you regular. It's a regular
And
routine.
They need to know you also lah.
It's a routine lah.
Routine kind of thing. Then but then again, if there is no relationship whatsoever, is purely cafe, then they will be wondering, and it stops there, right? Because they don't know where you're staying. They don't know anybody thing. Then it'll just go like, oh, long time never see. I wonder what happened. Or maybe they move away. But that's about the extent of it lah. But yeah, to have people who I think people checking in is now I appreciate even more.
Yeah. Even though
Checking
sometimes
in
I don't
again.
feel like talking about it, so I would just put smiley. So the second thing that I have currently implemented is having my extra keys
Okay.
with someone or somewhere within the near my house.
Vicinity.
Yeah. Because like I don't want friend who realize something is wrong.
And cannot get to you, right?
Yeah. So leaving that possibility of them coming into my house to go and like, hey, she's alive, she's just lying there sleeping. Or she had a heart attack or something like. Because sometimes you need medical help and then you really manage to get someone. For example, you know it's a heart attack, you called someone.
But they can't get to you, then how?
Yeah. So not just reaching for help, but ensuring that the help can come to you is an important mechanism to have in place.
Wow, then I must go and pass somebody my keys.
So normally, like for example, my parents have a set of my keys.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like really, if anything happens, you fall in the toilet and you call for help, but they cannot come in, ma.
Yeah.
So you
So they
must
break
call
down your
the
door.
person that you give the key to, so that they can come in. So I think that is a very important thing that sometimes we never think about. We just think that, hey, we got phone, or we just call for help.
Yeah.
My access is like I call for help, they can't get through, man. There's the gate and then there's a door.
Then there's that padlock, the
Yeah.
rubber-proof padlock.
And then in Malaysia we all double lock.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be horrible. So I remember just lying down one night and saying, hey, I need to put this mechanism in place. So those are the 2 things that I have in place right now lah.
Okay.
From living alone and scared that I'm dying young after the pandemic, anything can happen because there's so many cases of people dying young since the pandemic actually. So yeah, we shall take a break and we shall come back and talk about something even more morbid.
Oh no. Today's episode is in support of the YWCA KL's brand new initiative called the YWCA Community Oasis. If you would like to be involved in greening up a space right in the middle of downtown KL, reach out to us on social media, YWCA KL.
Just said, I would like to green the place too.
Yes. Okay, so just when you thought it couldn't get more morbid, there is no end to it with Gina.
Well, it's actually quite interesting that I thought I can park this at this episode is because it doesn't warrant a full episode.
Okay.
So and it's talking about death, so it's kind of related kind of
Okay.
thing, right? So I was thinking about this question. If a doctor comes to you one day and tells you you have 1 month more to live, what would you do?
Ooh.
This is so inspired by, again, Singapore. So Singapore, last beginning of this year, had a conversation where there's live funeral. What living funeral?
Living funeral.
Right? So this person who already know that she's gonna die decided to have a living funeral. Then all her friend give eulogy in front of her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me think about how, if I knew I'm gonna die, how I want to die. Or if I don't know, then I want to know, like, for example, everybody wants to die peacefully in their sleep in their home.
Mm-hmm.
I think so lah. Nobody dreams of dying in the hospital, right?
Yeah lah.
Or dying in the accident, right? So the best we can do is sleep away. That in the Chinese we call, if you live your life long enough and then you sleep, you die in your sleep, is a blessing.
Okay lah, I've heard of some friends, because I'm in the music line, right? They're like, wow, on stage, right? And tiba-tiba bob. It's like, you're doing what you're doing, and what a way to go.
Yeah, some people are okay with that lah. Some people just want to sleep and die away lah. So I was considering, if I'm given the chance to have option of how I die,
okay,
how would we do it? And I'm curious about what other people think or how other people would want to do it.
Okay.
We have watched enough movies of it, but I feel that movies sometimes are just fabricated movies lah.
Okay.
So yeah, if you would to give this a thought,
I don't, because
she's not morbid like me.
No, you can't choose how you die. I mean, if it's coming, it's coming, But okay. So
we're talking about
given
ideal situation, utopia situation lah.
Okay, given I can answer the part about how many 1 month, 1 month to live. And even then, it's like you don't really know for sure, right?
Yeah.
So some people
like
go and rob a bank and do all the crimes that they don't want to do yet. It's tough. What would I do? Okay, you go first.
Okay, so if you ask me, I've thought about it. Then I want my death to be stress-free for everyone, for my family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
Stress-free, not in the I write for you how to overcome my death, that kind of thing. Stress-free in the, it did bug me for what, this whole topic, right? Like, when I die, I have so many things in my house. So you should clear something so that when I die, they don't have so many things to clear.
I know. So I need to write my will. I will write my will. Because I have been stalling on that one. Okay, now you can continue.
So yeah, I was a bit shocked with my revelation when I lie down in bed one day. And I said, walao, why you have 500 to 800 books in the house? When you die, it will be a problem. Like,
it will be the Gina Yap Layong library.
Correct. So books are the easiest one. But in life, we have many different things. We have plants, we have clothes, we have business documents, we have stuff. So I can imagine if my sister have to step in and she's like, I don't know what to do with this place. Let's just sell the whole house. But I'm renting. So she needs to clear it out, right? So then that become, don't know why, that night when I was thinking about it, I'm like, how do I make it stress-free for the people who have to clean up my mess?
So kind,
or pick up my mess.
I'll be like, yay, I don't have to clean my house anymore.
Like what do they do with the things, you see? And I remember after having that thought, I wrote a text to my sister and said, okay, if I ever die, if I die alone and you have to manage it lah. You have to manage it in the current situation. If I die tomorrow, these are the few things that you can throw. These are the few things that should be family keeping. Let's say it's more of like the memento of things that I've got from my grandmother passed down to generation. Or these are the things that don't bother thinking keep or not, just throw or just sell. And stuff like that.
Then what did she say?
She's like, don't know what you're talking about suddenly. He said, suddenly you asked me to go clean your house.
Ju would have said, okay, I will start it.
Yeah, but it also leads me to the next question, right? If someone has let's say a friend, right, have a ridiculous wish list just because she's going to die a month later, right?
Okay.
Then what do you do? Do you respect this wish list or do you like, so ridiculous, only lah.
I think I would try to spend some time with them, trying to maybe do one of the, I wouldn't go and try and figure out how to do all the wish list lah. Kan I'm the only friend, I don't know.
And
I also cannot save your mentality, right?
Only got close friends are the one who knows it. You think she got to tell the whole world she's going to die,
But let's say you got 10 things on your list. Surely you have 5 different people that would be more suited to do the different things rather than the one person having to do all the 10 things with you or whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, when I had those shocking revelation that okay, all these things macam tak ada kaitan with me lah. Like the first thought of death wasn't what I would regret I didn't do, what I wanted to do, but how do I make my loved ones pick up less mess was something that really like,
So I learned something about your personality profile today. You are quite other-centered. Like you would think about how this impacts the other people before how it impacts. But it could also be because you are quite at peace with your own going already. That means if I believe that when I die, I go to a better place, right?
Correct.
So on that score, it's not so much of that fear of my side. The other thing that I read recently, which was actually quite interesting, and again, this is based on my worldview, which will be different from other people's worldview, which is fine. So just respect me for mine. And okay.
Disclaimer
Yeah,
first.
disclaimer dulu, because this one is quite way out lah. So, in my belief system, I believe that I'm going to a renewed earth. Like life after death will be on a renewed earth, the perfect earth, the way it was created.
Okay.
And even better. Okay. So remember when we talk about bucket list, right? Like, I want to travel the world.
Yeah.
I want to go see this, I want to go see that. But if I have eternity on the side of a even better world, then who cares? I want to go and see all these other things. I mean, reading that actually changed my perspective, about do I still go and need to like go to the highest mountain and scuba dive the deepest sea? Okay. The other funny thing is the Bible never say got sea lah in the after one. But
you say it resemble Earth, so Earth
Earth got
sea, so
I don't know. That one I don't know. I have to go die and find out first later. But yeah. So in the sense, then what do I really want to do here on Earth? I think actually the article had something that no lah, you don't think about that, but you think about these things that you want to do. But I cannot remember what was the things.
But I think it's interesting just now that you highlight that I'm quite content where am I now. That's why I don't bother about death, that I think about other people lah.
Yeah.
So even when just now I was talking about just family, right? I even think about for my project partners.
Right.
When I die, the project is like this.
So she's do all the SOP.
Yeah, all the SOP. If I
the
die,
file, the hard disk.
like the project shouldn't hang just because Gina died, so the project died, So those are like my, looking back lah.
Okay.
It's that kind of character that you have pinpoint very well. So I think the last question that I would ask today is, if you know you're dying, if you will all die, would you be an organ donor?
Oh, I've been actually thinking about that.
Very practical. Can decide one,
I've been thinking about that, right? But
or I can think about who wants my stupid organs.
No lah.
Sure
got some organs
I'm overweight, not very healthy, where got good organs to give you.
Sure got some organ that some part one that can be used. I thought about that, right? But I don't know. I haven't. My mind tells me, my heart tells me, it's a good thing to do. It's a great thing to do. You're giving the gift of life, but I think maybe I'm not ready yet. It's like, don't know. It's
so
like sure
at
not.
first
like
I thought about, like just now I said, right, who wants this kind of body, whatever. But I have a very interesting relationship with the thought of death. Okay, I've seen die already, cannot feel anything, cannot see anything. Just take whatever you want lah.
True.
So that it benefits you, because it's not like my soul is going to be there and say, hey, why you take my brain? Why you take my what? So when I reached that point of understanding on my own or belief principle, I thought, okay, I can sign the donor card, because I truly believe that when I die, it's going to be like I have a peaceful thing.
Yeah.
And if it helps the world, by all means go ahead, because I have no more control or influence over my physical body. Because when we die, it's the physical body lah. Of course, there's the soul and the spirit lah. Yeah. So that was when, again, another revelation. Okay, I can sign the donor card. So along the years, I pick up certain revelation about death that I think about.
Actually it's true lah. So 2 things would be do my will and then sign up as a donor. But I think it only works if you die in a hospital setting. It's fast enough to get your organs.
Oh no, that one
I mean, you die alone in your apartment, then by the time they find you tomorrow, too late already lah.
Yeah, but I also found that you can apply to be the donor
earlier.
You don't have to be sick in the hospital, half dying, then sign lah.
So now we can do that already lah. Actually, that's a good one. That's a very good one. I think about dying right now. The only thing I can think about is where I want to have my funeral.
Yeah, that was the third thing I have on my list, right?
Okay.
Since I was 20, even 18, I think.
Yeah.
I toy around with how my funeral would be like.
Okay.
Like I wanted a white casket and I wanted marker pens of all colours and I wanted people to write their last message on my casket.
Ayo.
Very artistic like that, like very me
But
lah.
I will mess it up.
It's like very me lah. Then you have friends like that who stress out about
I'll
business.
be like, oh no, I'm going to mess up the casket.
And that time I was writing a lot of scripts. I was a script writer. So I even wanted to, every 5 years, record a video of my final message. Okay, I play this, in my view, I play this video where I die,
Wow.
Because
I
wanted to do like every 5 years because I was thinking, my circle of friends might change every 5 years. My perception, who I am would change. My thoughts and things would change. So that was how, when I was writing my funeral manual, which gets thicker and thicker as I go along.
Oh, wow.
Those are some things that I wrote in lah, how I want to die. And I thought that this is like, a bit morbid, something
you want
wrong
to be
with
sent
you.
off lah.
Yeah, because like I said just now, right? Actually, I die already, I cannot see any of this. I cannot feel any of this. Again, it might be just for my family and friends.
How you want people to celebrate your life lah.
Yeah. So what is interesting, I thought I was the only one. Then I was speaking to this friend who's 80 plus.
Okay.
And she doesn't believe in any religion.
Okay.
So somehow we talk about death, like so try talking about death for 80 plus something.
Yeah, man. So brave.
And then she's a very deep thinker, and she said, Gina, I think I want to die in a Buddhist temple. And I went, what? But you're not even a believer.
Okay.
Then she said, no, I passed by the temple one day. There was a funeral.
Okay.
And the way everybody treated the body was very clean, very peaceful. Put flower, all very nice. So I thought I want to die like that. Like I want to die and go off beautifully with flower scent. So I will choose to die the Buddhist way just because of the way it was presented.
Right.
So of course I was telling her about what I told you just now. I want to do this. They said, wow, the way you want to go off very noisy, like party like that. But she said one thing that struck me. But you're not a party person.
Betul?
Why is it that you're planning your funeral or your departure?
Like got icebreaker, like you have to go and write here, right there. You don't like icebreakers.
Then I realized that I wanted my funeral to be the last legacy lah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I always say that my circle of friends does not overlap. I have writers friends, I have banker friends, then I have musicians friends. And the music fellow don't know the writer don't know the banker and all that. And there are a lot of people that I coach individually that might not have met each other.
Yeah.
Right. So if I were to die early enough for them to all be around and meet, I want them to be talking stories to inspire one another.
Okay.
That's how I want to be sent off lah.
You want people to be telling stories at your funeral lah.
But not,
because you storyteller ma.
Not stories about me lah.
Sure not.
Yeah, but stories about how like how say, because actually they kind of know each other. Because I have shared stories of them to each other without names.
Ooh.
So like, I met so and so. So you might actually meet the so and so that I talk about, right?
Okay.
So I wanted that connection, that world.
I see.
Like, hey, remember, you don't remember Gina and I just remember the inspiration that she linked us through the stories.
Okay.
So that was how I was thinking of how to go off lah. I mean, as morbid as it is, there is a bit of comfort in planning your funeral. I don't think I would do a living funeral. My friends would probably be just laughing because taking me not seriously, not dying. So there's no need to give her a proper eulogy, But I have to say, I have received one eulogy written.
About?
For my funeral.
Okay. Wow.
So I got this friend who because like I said, I sometimes have morbid chat with my friends.
They know you're not pantang lah.
And then one day, my mentee actually.
Yeah.
But she's older than me lah. She's like 50 something, I think.
Okay.
She wrote me a eulogy.
Right.
Because I think that was a high point in her life. And she said that if I ever lost you, this is what I'm going to say at a funeral. And she wrote it. And then she decided to send it to me.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I actually okay. So then I realized that eulogies are so important to give people a view of the person who passed away.
Yeah.
Only to inspire the attendees to be better people.
Yeah, exactly. To know what counts, right? In life, that people remember.
That's why planning funeral became something that I also do. Because I don't want my funeral to be something that is family only.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, finish. It's the one last point that I have with everyone that I come in contact. What else can I leave for them?
Wow.
Yeah. So like that lah. Now she's thinking about her funeral.
I only think two things. And actually, a bit selfish lah, not so other-centered like Gina, right? The main thing is, I really want my funeral to be in a church, like a proper church building. Because my whole life, I grew up next to a church, right? All the people, when I was growing up, that I know, it's like all the send-offs has been, and it's always inspiring to me somehow. It just feels different being in that setting than anywhere else. So even those funeral parlor or whatever, where, it just feels incomplete to me somehow. The problem is the church that I go to now doesn't have that kind of building, and it also doesn't have this kind of facility. So I'm like, oh no, how? I actually quite often think, how? I die then where? How?
Good to know that Gina think of such
That's one. No solution yet. Although I think got one possibility, but it's a bit far-fetched lah. The second thing is about the music at my funeral, as in...
She wants to decide a playlist at her funeral.
Not really. I want to decide the theme. Like who's going to be playing. Like sometimes...
Oh my God, she's not talking about team, T-H-E-M-E. She's talking about the band.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Reason being...
musicians die.
Reason being, when I go to a wake or a funeral, and then sometimes it's, I don't know, sometimes it's run so... Sometimes it's really done really well. Sometimes it's run really like the people not that well versed in what to say or how to play. And I feel like, I mean, we do events, right? We plan properly, the flow and everything.
Yeah, tell a story.
And then to see like, wow, if the send-off, right, is like not a proper flow, well thought out or
okay lah, there's people go there and say, this is so not Juita.
Yeah. But even when I go, if I see like, wow, musicians' family, okay lah, that hardly happens at the musicians' family because all their friends will step in to do that, but it just feels, ayo, I don't know lah. When I see it happening for other people, I feel a bit sad. So yeah.
Okay, put that
Does
in your
it make
view.
sense? Yeah.
Any more?
No, that's all. Just two things only.
I think one last thought I would leave all the listeners out there is, if you have a chance to give an eulogy, give it. It's not for your sake, You are doing it for the person who have departed, making sure that people know who he has been to you, because who he has been to you might not be the same to who he has been to other people.
Yeah.
And you're giving others a view or a dimension or a glimpse or part of him that other people might not know. So nowadays, if I have to attend a funeral,
right,
and if I have a certain relationship or friendship with the person enough for me to give a eulogy, I would force myself to, even though I don't like speaking out there about all this thing.
Wow.
But I will force myself to, because I say I owe it to the people that he knows. I owe it to his world to contribute back to his world. Otherwise they'll say, he's a father-in-law, then he's a son-in-law. Like hello.
They never knew this aspect about that person.
Correct.
That might make a huge difference in their lives, right?
Yeah. So eulogy is not about you.
Yeah, of course.
It's about the person who have departed lah.
Wow.
Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by two Malaysians who are passionate about Malaysian stuff.
Stay tuned every week for a brand new Sembang session with Cerita Suito and Gina Yap Layong.
Today's episode is recorded at Studio 2105.
Remember to click like and subscribe for the brand new episode next week.